Now. Hi, everybody. This is a special edition of Goddamn It, Zach. I am Skeeter Green, my platonic RPG life mate, Zach Glazer.
God damn it. Yeah, that's me. I'm that
Yes,
one. I'm the goddamn it, Zach, not the other.
he is the Goddamn It in Goddamn It, Zach. And with us today, we have some very special guests, Jamison Stone and Satine Phoenix. Oh, I can't get both of your names on the screen. Damn it, Zoom!
Oh, that's
Uh,
okay.
but yeah,
You're
not like you
fired.
guys aren't very visual and easy to identify.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that no one confuses you with, like, I don't know, say us. So,
Yeah, never happens. We'll cut to the chase right now. What we're trying to promote today is Sirens Battle of the Bards. And let's see if our tech support, there we go. Tech support.
Yay! There it is.
Look at that thing. That is, and by thing, I do not mean Satine, who is all over it. That was not my intent.
yeah, no one where I work could do that. Pull that off. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We don't get cover material.
So this started. What day did this actually start?
On the 22nd was when we launched officially on
April.
Kickstarter. Yeah, of April. Yeah. So as of recording now, it says not 19 days to go, but it ends on the 22nd of May, which is
My birthday.
Satine's birthday.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So we're having a really big birthday party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge birthday.
We are
party.
now because it's so successful. It'll be a real bummer otherwise.
Yeah. We're looking at over 1,600 people already. We're not even halfway, I don't think.
No, not
No.
yet. Yeah.
Almost 170,000. That is amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I did what is unusual for Zach and I is actually did a little bit of research on this and got some background on you both. And we're just going to go through the Kickstarter page here to show it off. If there's anything you want to say specifically about the Kickstarter page or any blurbs or high points you want to bring out while we're doing this, we're going to get into a lot more stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, actually, yeah. What they're not seeing is the trailer. So one of my sirens for my live stream is Jason Charles Miller, and so he did the music, and Jamison, Jason, and myself wrote the lyrics. And then, of course, I got to sing on it. So that was a really awesome
Nice.
bardtastic thing that we did.
Yeah.
That
So
is
if people even
fantastic.
Bardtastic is awesome. Great way to put it.
Yes, we want that to start trending.
Yeah, so people to watch a trailer, all I have to do is go to thebardbook.com and then it'll pop up right on Kickstarter and you can check it out.
Nice.
Fantastic. And we know this guy.
Luke, oh, he's
I
like
know
a
that.
big brother to me. I love him. I love his family. His girls are just the sweetest. The Gygax girls. Jameson hasn't met them yet, but when you do, you're just like,
You'll remember.
I would wear my Vlanya outfit at all the D&D live events. And I would get down there and like on my knees and kind of talk to them when they were little, and they would touch my ears. And I just love that family so much.
They do a great job with GaryCon too. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah.
They are fantastic. So this is extremely visual. This may be one of the most visual Kickstarters I have ever seen, and
Fantastic.
the Zoom doesn't do it justice. There's the art is moving and everything on the Kickstarter. So please go, even if you just want to check out what I'm talking about in my mindless ramblings. It's very engaging. The Kickstarter page is fantastic, and we'll get into the books here in a minute because I got deep into the Red Opera and the Amazon book and everything, and it was fantastic. So, Deborah Ann Wool, look at that.
Yeah.
I saw
You may know her
on
from
Facebook.
Daredevil, True Blood. Man, she's a huge gamer.
Yeah, she's
I met
huge
her.
gamer. Yeah.
I met her at Joe Manganiello's place. They invited me to Dungeon Master in his like Gygax Memorial Dungeon. And she was so funny. She played a barbarian and all she wanted to do was oil up her muscles. And I was like, okay. here's a flask of Ever oil, so you can always have oil to oil up. And
the rest of us thank you for doing that.
it was so funny. And then she started dungeon mastering for relics and rarities, I think, or something similar. And she enjoyed one of the encounters that I put them through so much. I mean, I had the whole place in stitches, that she was like, oh, I loved this. Can I evolve it and then put it in my show? And I said, of course. And she did. She made it one of the funniest things. It just goes to show that like we are better game masters because of one another, and like by sharing knowledge with each other and borrowing.
I saw you with her at the Lost Odyssey event in California with Luke as well.
Yeah.
Tell on stage, you guys all having a really great time. So.
Oh yeah, so fun, so much fun.
Zach actually gave you off camera a huge compliment. Since 5e has been pushing the boundaries of streaming shows, and a lot of content creators are going on there, and they're making it. One of the things people are saying is they're making it more of a show rather than a D&D game, which I mean you kind of do, because some D&D games are boring. But I mean, you've got to be engaging. But Zach said when Satine is running a game, you know it's a game. Her command of the rules is fantastic. It is a legit game. It is not a show about a game. So.
Oh my gosh! Thank you.
I've been in a game with
welcome,
you.
But I said that a lot of
Alex
times
was running it. So.
Because I saw you in a game hole years ago, I'm like, that is hardcore legit, man. And so, and I don't say that about my own boss or everybody I work with. I think you're better than both of them, especially that Finch guy. So. No, seriously, you did a great job. I didn't know he was going to bring that up. I'm embarrassed now.
Oh,
no, don't be embarrassed. No, Satine and I, we have several shows on her channel, and Couples D&D is one of them. And none of it is scripted. It's really fantastic to have Satine as a game master, where we're able to go in and she does such a great job of commanding my attention, commanding the attention of the audience too, and we're interacting with the Twitch chat. But we're still playing and rolling dice, and I still fear for my life every dice roll.
So what I'm getting from that is she's bossy.
No, but one thing
mechanically, dungeon mastery.
Dungeon mastery. Okay, at least at the table. At least at the table.
See, when you're a player too, and I see you on stage when you were at the Lost Odyssey, you take that real legit. I mean, you had a role that it was fun, but you were in the confines of what you had made, and it was a joy to like watch it and see people play it and love the game that much, because I grew up with it. That's why I'm doing all this. But to see good products and good people get successful in it when it's hard industry, it makes me happy. That's all.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 33 years now. So, and
except you don't look that old.
I'm 41 this month. Thank you. Yeah, we work out a lot and eat really well. But it's one of those things where I watch other people play, and you just get into the 12-year-old inside of you, and then you just be in the moment completely. But then it's like the rules are there to make sure that your decisions have repercussions, right? And the chance also, because you're going to do something in real life, but maybe your chance to do it isn't as successful as otherwise. And so you can be in the moment and role play and also have the dice move in and out for you. But I refuse to min-max. I'm there as a character with all my faults. And I really hope that other players get to see that and realize that when you roll low, you're rolling for story. And that's only going to help, the overall group be more, the story is more interesting when you're not winning all the time. That is how you win D&D.
Honest to God, that's the greatest thing I've heard in a long time, because I'm a big believer in it doesn't matter how you win, it's how you get to the point, because the best parts of times when it's so desperate, you may actually lose the whole deal. And then you learn from it, start again. But the best stories are never, we won, we conquered, we had the highest strength score. I got 27 with all my advance. No one cares. No one cares. When you actually solve a problem without actually having to do things like combat, or you're thinking through it and you're really weighing your chances for events, is when it actually becomes a real nerd poker, right? It's real strategy. It's real
Yeah.
thinking. It's just it's not so encompassing that you can't have a great story framework. In fact, I like stories told that way more than I like actual stories. So.
Yeah,
like because you're co-creating the story. Actually,
exactly.
you're able to tell that story with other people at the table.
Yeah. So Jamison's character Vajra for our couples D&D is pretty burly. Like he's really kind of a badass. And then Jamison just rolls really low.
Occasionally.
When he rolls low, it's like a thing. And so it just goes to show that you could put all of your numbers into one basket and it still is, there's still chance for you to fail. Yeah. So you might as well lean into it and be creative, and then also work with everyone around you. And that's the one thing that I'm hoping that the shows that we're doing show to other people. It's like, this game isn't about you. This game is about everyone except for a couples D&D. That is about Jamison.
Yeah. Well, it's about both of us though, because you then play the other NPCs that are even in our party too. So we do actually play together, which is I think fantastic.
Stop being so modest, Jamison. Go on.
Yeah. But Zach, exactly what you're saying. I really appreciate, I love video games too. And so in video games, you can really min-max your character and focus on DPS, really dial it in, and it becomes like basically two spreadsheets slamming up against each other. And that can be fun and strategic. But TTRPGs, 5th edition and otherwise, I love being able to actually take a really serious character flaw and then lean into that, even if it, hampers, it really diminishes the overall character. Like for example, the paladin that I play doesn't wear plate mail, and I remember talking to some people, they're like, what do you mean? Like your AC is just so much higher with plate mail. Why wouldn't you do that? And he just doesn't want to have plate mail. And so to be able to then try to find workarounds and really lean into that character and then co-create the story with the game master and your other players, that's the beauty of tabletop role playing versus a lot of other games.
Pick one of your favorite 7 deadly sins and you can make sure it's appropriate for the table and you run. Because having actual flaws is what makes interesting people. So.
Yeah.
When you tell stories about a game, you don't tell stories about, oh, this is how I built my skill set and got all the advantages. It's like, it was the craziest thing. We jumped off this roof. A guy broke his leg. We kept running through the town. It's the stories that are important.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of the stories, Skeeter, the one that we played with Alex, I think that's the one that was a one time. And I usually eat really, really well at conventions because I'm up early and I'm working all night. But somebody brought something and it was just junk food city. And we were adults eating really junk food. And I got.
You actually started. I remember this. You started with an apple. And I was like, where am I? What is happening here? This is apple. That's actually good for you. And then it just went downhill from there. I think it was Merle's. I think he was the one who started the descent.
Yeah, and it got so bonkers by the end of it. And there was a really fun game, but this kind of goes to show that like the story was awesome. We had a really, really good time. And also I remember how happy I was and also I had a tummy ache. And I think somebody's sister came by and braided my hair while we were all playing. Like it was like a whole thing. Yeah. And that I miss that about our convention gaming for certain.
You don't remember your proficiency bonus? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many advantage rolls were there?
Right.
Nobody remembers that.
No,
yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to put this up.
Go back up real quick. Satine, when you listed all your professional partnerships, can you go through those real quick?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can people hear this?
Calling out
but it looks like
to save Salvatore, the city that we love. An evil force has corrupted our home. Many fell, and now the bards they stand alone. Blessed power reigns down.
But she is definitely singing.
People can go to thebardbook.com and it'll link you directly to the video.
Yeah.
Did you record without a studio recording? Did you go into a studio and actually record it?
So
we have basically kind of an ad hoc studio right in our basement. Yeah, where we do all of our live streaming.
Yeah, we've got. I brought in all of my Gilding Light equipment. So I have, and before quarantine, I started a production company called Gilding Light, and we were on location. 7 players. Like it was really intense. And now I have all that equipment downstairs. So I'm like, we're using it. So we actually set up 3 different streaming for video games and for our shows. And so we've got really good mics. And then, of course, Jason Charles Miller made
Yeah.
me sound even better.
Yeah, he's great. Everything I've heard from him is just top shelf. So
Yeah,
you have
he's a good
lot
example of a
of
bard.
fantastic contacts.
Yeah.
And
I just really like Dungeons and Dragons. And I just find people that love Dungeons and Dragons. It's so awesome. You know, like in LA, I started Celebrity Charity 20, and that was in 2010. And it was all the celebrities in Hollywood. And it was like, you know, B, C, D list celebrities, but, you know, like producers, writers, actors, voice actors. And we started a thing where we would play games online. And the first 2 years were terrible because nobody was doing it back then and no one knew how to do it.
Stuff,
Right.
man. That's pioneer.
Yeah. Yeah. And then 2012, we got it. And it basically has stayed the same since we like kind of invented that way of streaming in 2012. I'm very proud of that. And also everyone else was proud to be a part of it. And so that's where I met Jason. That's where I met Matt Mercer and Javier Grillo Marswash, who was the executive producer on Dark Crystal. And all these people, they just were like, Satine knows Dungeons and Dragons. I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. And that's kind of like,
better than you. That's what I was going to say to him next, right?
what was that?
You know it better than they do. That's the best part. They'll be totally you'll knock them over. No, the
Yeah.
Dark Crystal. Now I'm all crazy because you know the Dark Crystal guy.
I mean, that's one thing to be into the show of it, but you legitimately know the game, know how to run a game.
She's showing off her
Yep.
I don't
D
think,
D&D.
yeah, I think I got this right before we played that game together. It's my ampersand tattoo on my throat. Yeah,
And
I love
I
it.
mean, you
That's
have
like a gang cat. That's awesome. Awesome.
you've done work for Wizards of the Coast. I mean, you've done so much stuff on your own. So okay, let's get into Sirens. Tell us a little bit about the story of this book, this particular book.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sirens Battle of the Bards is set in the city of Selvata. Selvata is built upon a desert oasis. And every 100 years, they do an invocation to the gods where they call down the power of the deities to recharge the well source of this oasis with this magical kind of water essence called Kesava. Originally, it was some druids and bards that built this city. And every 100 years, they build a new disc. And so the discs build on top and top. And if you actually scroll down a little bit, we can see the different discs on the page for Selvata.
Yeah. I saw it on here.
Yeah, and so
there she is.
There it is, and then you'll see and down below is a different.
Oh yeah,
disc.
you can actually see the
again.
disc.
People can go to bardbook.com and check it out. What we want to do is really create a location centered around what would it be like if artists built a city. So the Red Opera, which is our last book, focused on warlocks, and so it's the city of Yonkoth is this dark and brooding. There's archfey and great old ones and eldritch deities and fiends, communicating to would-be warlocks and warlocks alike. And here we wanted to create something that was really beautiful, very artistically, a bardically inspired city. And then when we take the sirens, both of Vanya and then her cast of sirens, and introduce them into the city along with the Emerald Cabal, which is one of their age-old nemesis, kind of chaos ensues, and the players are able to choose, who do they ally with. We have a faction tracker within the game, so people, if they want to ally themselves with Kalrath, the Grand Chancellor, who has kind of been overseeing the city for the past 300 years, and the grand invocations, you can. Or if you want to be involved with the Resistance, who are trying to fight back the Emerald Cabal, or if you want to ally yourself with the Emerald Cabal, you can do that as well. We really believe in player agency. I think every great TTRPG, that's what kind of makes it a TTRPG, is that you are able to make choices and dictate the outcome of the story. And so we have multiple endings in Sirens Battle of the Bards, much like we did for the Red Opera.
Would you consider this to lean more towards the political intrigue side of things, or is this location, dungeon is a bad term for it? I mean, is it is it a site-based adventure, or is it the intrigue part of it that you're highlighting more?
Both actually. So this is, you've got this event that's happening, and
Right.
you are answering the call to adventure from Vlania, who's like, come be a part of my spy network. Now, you can actually be and play in this game from a couple different angles. If you want to go through the politics route, you can. If you want to just focus on the bracket contest of like battle of the bands in that kind of like performance way, you can. So you don't even need to be a bard in order to play in this game. And each district is so fleshed out that you can play, one of the 10 main chapters in our quests. You can play that entire thing, or you can just do side quests. So we have 10 side quests as well. Or, if you're a dungeon master and you're like, I just really love this city, we have fleshed out each district, and we let people know throughout the adventure what people are doing at different time frames. So the entire thing takes place over a 10-day-ish. And so, it's a lot of player agency. The clock is ticking.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that the dungeon master moves things along as well. And so if you, the game master, know what the timeline looks like, where all the NPCs are at different points in the time, if the city is actually living and breathing, your players can kind of go in whatever direction and kind of go follow the themes that they're interested in.
That's what I was going to say. I think if people really like that intrigue, they can lean in. But if people don't want to get kind of embroiled into that, they don't have to. We really wanted to create a system. These are the games that I love the most, where the environment really feels like it's a living, breathing thing. And so when you have an action, there is a reaction. So a lot of the faction tracking has to do, if you decide to go, right or left, it will have a reaction to the environment around you. And for the game master to keep track of all of this, we have that faction tracker.
That was one of the things that I liked when I was reading through it, is even as I'm trying to figure out, okay, it's the sirens, and it's a bard city, and it's doing all this stuff. Just as a flat out, if you used it for nothing besides the setting itself,
Totally,
it
100%,
is fantastic, and so not what's been done before. That's the best part. And some people are going to say, "Well, that doesn't fit in." It's like, okay, don't make it fit what you want it to be, but it is very creative and very not the standard. Oh, this would fit in Lord of the Rings, as a dirty town. That doesn't interest me at all. Stuff like this is like, okay, Dr. Manhattan built this.
Exactly.
It's that kind of thing, and really amazing to find something that is authentically new. Is very rare.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
We're
I'm going to interrupt real
world
quick
builders.
because my interest is super peaked, so I'm going to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
One of my favorite RPG products I ever owned is called Street of Gems, and it's from 1981. And that was the first and one of the last ones I ever saw that actually very successfully did a timeline-based adventure with between two groups. And I haven't seen one like it before. Now I'm double excited. I'm glad I already backed it. I'm gonna go back again.
Excellent.
Factional stuff to me is by far the most interesting role playing, because it's so gritty, and there's so much to do with, are they loyal? Are they disloyal? What is their actual motive? It has to do a lot with humanity and motives. And I was kind of curious how your tracker works just a little bit without giving it away. Can you talk a little bit about that? How you came up with the idea to do the actual tracking itself? Because I just think that's great. So.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So we're both gamers, like not just TTRPGs, but we both love video games, right? And it's very awesome with video games where you're like, oh, here is the good people, and here's the not good people, and you can go in this route or that route. But by creating the story from like a decision tree kind of way, it's easy to develop a story that weaves together and is interesting and has cause and effect. So I don't know if you want to talk about the tracker specifically.
Again, the way that I see it is, and this also, Skeeter talks a little bit about what you were saying about the city kind of being almost its own module. As both a player and as a game master myself, I'd like to have tools. So I consider myself a very good GM, but I'm much better when I'm fully equipped. And so we're trying to give our game masters and the players too all of the resources they have to be able to run the game the way that they want, and to be able to bring pre-existing parties and drop them into the setting. And so to Zach, to answer your question, the way, and we don't want to get into any too many details. You'll see hints of it in our free PDF. Actually, you'll see kind of the things kind of some of those like numbers will be getting dropped, and eventually those add up. But basically being able for a game master very quickly and very efficiently to be able to know at any one time how these different factions should report back and actually interact with your player characters.
They're live. They're live around you, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not for the players to know. The players should just be making.
They'll feel it. The players should feel it, though, in the way that the story unfolds via the game master.
To the point of, if you go down, if you have this many, or not as specifically as this many positive points, this many negative points, but if they kind of move in this direction, these are the NPCs who are going to be interested in them versus these ones that they kind of blown off. Mm-hmm. And that's really nice, because you'll be able to play this game over and over and going just, okay, what if we kind of go this way instead? Well, now it opens up more people who they can interact with.
Yeah.
Like a dashboard for GMs. That's awesome. It's like one big giant dashboard that tells you all the little things you need to know. That's cool. I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how our Dungeon Master screen's getting designed as well. And that was one where we don't have it up because I'm a very picky Dungeon Master. I really love rules. And I was showing my husband, we have like 13 different Game Master screens. This is my favorite one aesthetically. It's the collector's edition. We're both collectors, as you can see behind us. This is one of 3 of our libraries. So I love this.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you've seen this, but it's so beautiful.
The 3-book set, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so the inside is really nice. But I was like, okay, team, we really need to design this for ease of use. Understanding, like, if I'm going to open this up and I have my laptop, because I like hyperlinks and PDFs and D&D Beyond, I'm obsessed now. Like, what am I going to prioritize on the outsides to help me play my game versus what goes in here, right? If my laptop is going to come up to like 3/4 of view, I need to know what is going to go in those spots, and if I move it back even further, what is my secondary line of sight going to do? So I'm actually we're gamifying the Dungeon Master screen, putting information that you need as a game master, because there's a lot of superfluous info here that I don't care about. So we're giving information on an ability to mark your factions on the Dungeon Master screen, as well as information on the city, on NPCs, and quick stats for.
I think I'm going to cry.
I know.
I know. I'm just like,
this is our screen I have sitting on my table because we made one for a box that we just did. I have 40 screens over there because I know exactly how you feel. 100%. What's on a screen is so important, and there's so many bad ones that when you see one you like, you get all excited. Like, it gives your hair stands up a little bit. I'm telling you what. I'm buying more of these. This is great. No,
I'm so glad to hear your enthusiasm.
I have all the screens that I read through all the time, looking what should be on them. I did it for weeks.
Right. Yeah,
I'm not alone. It's not just
no,
me.
You're not alone. Have you seen the Rick and Morty one?
Yes.
That one is one of my favorites.
Behind my screen.
It's so simple, and it's like, here's exactly what you're going to need, and they say it in such a Rick way, which is kind of mostly condescending, but also totally correct. Here's a simplification of the things that you're going to need. I think it's one of the smallest Game Master screens. Now, ours is a piece of art. We want you to feel immersed in the city. We want, like, one side has like the good characters, one side has the bad characters on it, and then in the center is the city of Salvata, so that you can feel like you're right there while you're playing the game. And
the screen conveys to your players the same kind of feel, right? So it's important. Yeah.
Okay. So every single thing is purposeful, and it's functional as well as beautiful.
Yeah. No, I 100%. I lose sleep over this, so I get it.
Since you started showing off the screens. And we asked you before we started recording to get some nice items. Show us the pretties.
Come on, let's see it.
This is all stuff that is available in the Kickstarter.
So we actually we just today got our campaign coins just came in. So here you can,
nice.
Yeah. So we are super, super proud of these campaign coins. And we had beautiful campaign coins made for the Red Opera. These are our Red Opera campaign coins. People can check those out at theredopera.com. But our Sirens ones are absolutely stunning.
So Jamison's Apotheosis Studios is full of amazing artists and creatives. Like I'm an artist, but these guys are like, they blow my art out of the water. But the one thing they let me do.
Oh, not the one thing, baby.
But like artistically, like I got to design this.
You did, yeah. But it wasn't the only thing that you
Somebody's
designed.
gonna get
This was
stabbed.
like, no, not at all. It was more like, it's actually more reasonable. It's me admitting that like these artists are so good.
Okay.
Like I can't, like it would be silly of me to say, no, I'm doing this because that's ridiculous. But the one thing I'm very proud of that I got to design were the designs for this. So the one side is the City of Salvata coin. And then the other side is, so we have College of Geometry is one of our bard subclasses. And it's like the art of math and sacred geometry. And so here's, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, I'm definitely getting that one for sure.
Yeah, it's so each one is, so they're two-sided. And one side is Metatron's cube that has the platonic solids, but it has the full TTRPG dice set of the platonic solids actually it's missing the D10, I believe. So I had to make sure that was
the
put
D10
in.
is not a platonic solid, so Plato did not include it.
No nerds here. Yeah.
Well, my wife is a math teacher, so that's going to be huge for me to pick up from her.
So yeah, she's going to like the city. The entire city is made by our architects. These are our bard architects from the College of Geometry. And so the entire city looking down, actually, this design is the top down of Salvata.
And we can show you that same design on our wormwood boxes. That's the same design right there. So there's another version of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm very proud.
And again, that leans into the actual city itself. It is itself like a superstructure that calls down the divine energy from the gods during these grand invocations every 100 years.
And here's this, Jamison's favorite color. This one, actually, all of them have this like recess in the coin on both sides. Mm-hmm. So you can put your inspiration die in there and either have that or you can give your friend inspiration. And so it's a visual way to track because
you guys are
sometimes
thinking.
we forget. I love gaming.
The best thing about those kinds of stuff, when you have like Chaos does, they're awesome when you have the things you hand out and see. Those are awesome with the dice added to that, puts them in a game. So I'm going to add them all.
That's
yeah.
I was playing a live stream game for a Jasper's game week now, not even game day, and I got bardic inspiration, and I was like, oh man, I wish I had this die to put the die in to remind myself that I had the bardic inspiration.
That's an excellent point. A lot of things get lost when you're gaming and you're really feeling it. You're like, oh, I should have done this. But when you have those items where it's right in front of you, it's a visual cue. So that's going to be great to use.
With advantage too. I mean, they can be advantage coins that a game master can give out. Yeah.
And especially like I remember 4th edition had a lot of, that extra point that you could use. And we used to give tokens like poker chips out to the players. But, continuing on that route, we're both collectors, but we're both like efficient. Yeah, he's got his.
Those are fleeting luck tokens for DCC. They do that exact same thing. So you can hand somebody a poker chip and say, oh, you have an extra luck point. So those things are
exactly.
great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So these are the new Wormwood designs, and we don't have them yet. They should be in next week because of the shipping through China and stuff. We have very specific dice from Level Up Dice. We custom made, these are called Bard Transmutation Dice. Mm-hmm. So if you scroll down, you can actually see there's the loot, the microphone for the D20 mic drop, ink.
And we custom made these dice.
Not trying to make anybody sick.
Right there.
Yep.
There it is. I don't know if you could push play. I don't think there's any music on that one. watching them get rolled is like tickles me so much.
Oh my god!
But the long ones are based on the Level Up's unicorn dice. Tapered, right? The big ones, a D4, they're just so nice. But yeah. The dice, you roll into the city.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I'm trying. I'm doing my best behavior not to ask you all kinds of questions I want to know that are inside stuff. Just they look really nice. I'll ask some other time.
Oh yeah, sure.
How they tool, where they sent, when they go. Not asking any of those things.
Yeah, that was new for us. So I only know a little bit about resin. So these ones are in resin and aluminum, and we wanted them to. So the way we designed our city, Carlos is one of the most amazing designers on the team. Well, actually, we have a lot of awesome designers, but he designed the city. And the way we have it in the book, the grand architect has built a miniature version of the city for the chancellor. And so as you're turning through the pages of our book, you get to see the city, but it's in this it's
like a marionette almost.
This almost like clay version of the city. So we wanted to make sure that you had also small versions that mimicked that. So we've got all white and that like chalky white with gold lettering, and then we have this tarnished gold set in aluminum. That's about all I know about that.
So I see you there checking out our miniatures. So we don't yet have physical samples of those yet, but these are our samples from the Red Opera. They were made with one of our partners called Mixed Dimensions. And they make absolutely amazing minis.
Full color.
Printed
in full color.
Full color minis. And minis of this high quality and full color are usually much more expensive. So it's really awesome for us to be able to offer these miniatures at this price, and they fit perfectly inside of our master vault. So you can pop your minis in, then close it up, and then they're good to go along with your dice and campaign.
You guys
coins.
are thinking.
We're trying. Again, we're gamers, so we're trying to make stuff that we use. Want to continue to tell.
And we travel a lot, so it's like, how can we make it for us and other people who want to keep stuff on their shelves and also want to take them places? Because I've destroyed many things because I didn't have an appropriate place to put my items. Right. So that was really important. But the cool thing there's so many cool things about these minis. They're so beautiful. The sculptor, Johnny, he creates art that's like Weta quality, like sideshow collectible quality. And we're like, okay, do that big. And he's like, got it. So, and then also Mixed Dimensions, they do these beautifully full colored, and you can of course paint on it if you're like, oh, I want it different.
Give it highlights, whatever you'd like.
But they also print in different transparencies, right?
And translucent too.
So the magic, we're able to like design the magic to be it's like clear, and then also have like the high opacity clothing on the characters, lots of texture. And
so Vanya is actually casting magic. We have the Herald, who's kind of one of our bad guys, unless you want to kind of go to the dark side.
He's very charming.
The faction tracker will allow you. He has this like arc balefire lightning in between his outstretched hands, which is really rad. And we've not really seen many people, certainly not independent creators, be able to play with these tools and offer minis and things of this caliber to their players. So it's a huge honor for us to be able to make stuff.
Amazing. The fact you got them in color like that's amazing.
We also have
minis, but I know enough to know that's hard.
We also have something in the base to be able to play with these in the future for things that will be coming out that we're a part of. So the super secret stuff, but when we release these other products over time, you'll be able to take what you purchase with us and then level up your game in a way that we can't talk about right now.
You're killing me here because I can already starting to guess what the things are.
It's artificial intelligence. I'm
not going to make it to the end. So I'm like, it'll concentrate. Like, okay.
I know. I'm starting to get anxiety from all the cool stuff you guys are putting out.
Well, we wanted to make like a fully immersive. We want you in it because we are so passionate.
It's just what we like. Yeah. So we don't yet have the special edition of Sirens, but we can kind of show off a quality. This is the special edition of our Red Opera books. This is our last Warlock campaign and setting book. Beautiful slipcase. It actually has specialized metal material. This is tungsten hammered metal X with a full metal stamp. And then we have the name in the back, and then it slips out into our Bloody Warlock for this Warlock campaign and setting book. This book is 320 pages. Sirens will be just about that exact same size. I think maybe a little bit more.
It does 2d4.
Yeah, 2d4 bludgeoning damage if you hit someone with this.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's got the
exactly.
tungsten on it. Jeez.
Yeah. So we love collector's items. It's what we enjoy, and so that's what we like to make and what we like to create and then offer to fellow players.
It's just really exciting for you guys to be excited with us because like we're always excited about this.
This is what we do.
I'm doing the exact same thing now for Kickstarter for us later, but about how to design slipcases is one of the other things we're working on. We're also working on how do you get the case in there? What are you gonna do with the flypaper? How are you gonna make sure that we said Metal X, my heart went like this again because I understand when you got the cover is the wrap that goes on the front of the cases. It's a huge deal because it all feels different in the school, and it's like I get it. Nobody cares about this but you guys and me. I'm so happy.
I think more people do care about it, but you know, it's expensive. It's not a cheap process, and the quality is what is the most important thing to us because it's not about like we're going to go put out a product and make a bunch of cash. You know, the paper is very thick. We actually have the specs on the paper for those super paper nerds.
We'll give you a, so here's Icewind Dale. So this is a standard D&D book, great book.
Really good story.
Really great story. I'm not going to say anything ill against Dungeons and Dragons.
That's wise.
Right. But I will say this. So it's the same amount of pages. So here, this is
and that has a map in it.
Yeah, and theirs has a map, which is super cool. But this is a 320 page book, and they just use a very different quality of paper. And so for us, we want to have our paper really hold on to the actual ink.
Hold on.
And
all right, Zach, go show off a book.
And so when we have our full color images, and here's one of my favorite. Here, this is the Mother of Mirrors.
It's me.
That's Satine. So that's one of Satine's characters.
I do the same show, the same book. One's printed on demand, the other one is printed in China on clay coat.
Exactly.
I know nobody cares about that. No, I love it.
No, we care.
We really care. So you can tell the difference.
Talk about it. It's not boring. But look at that. That's the same number of pages, same book. One's done a different side of paper. You can tell when you touch the paper on the inside that it's different. And they're for different purposes. So I shouldn't complain. But man, when you open the one up and you can just feel like the crackle and you can like kind of smell just the last bit.
It smells so
you really
exciting. It's so exciting because you're about to do it.
Where's the Purple Heart? Yeah, so when we got these in the wormwood, we were just like,
just smelling the.
So this is cherry,
just smelling the box.
but then it's got the wood burn, right?
Going by the convention booths when we can actually go in conventions and
smell the difference.
I mean, God, just because I was a woodworker for 17 years in construction, so going by those booths is just amazing.
It smells so good. Yeah,
they do wonderful work that I'm always amazed that they can pull off with the kind of excellence they have with the kind of numbers they do. It really does take dedication.
Yeah,
I'm impressed by them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice to like really nerd out about this with you guys. And it's so funny. I think a lot of people are like, Satines, blah, 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 whatever they want to think. But like, we're obsessed. We're obsessed in a way that might be a little like unreasonable, but I think it's very reasonable.
Well, there is. I'm going to jump in because you opened up a can right there. You do get a lot of perception about you, Satine.
Yeah.
And I have been around enough people who are, in my opinion, they're new to the game and they're kind of enjoying the popularity of D&D and maybe they're not actually gamers. I've been around you. I don't know Jamison. This is the first time we've met, but you are a gamer for sure. I mean,
Thank you so
I-
much.
and anybody from the old school who wants to doubt my pedigree in the games, because I'm a decade older than you are, and I've been playing as long as you've been alive. Um, I, you might be a better gamer than I am.
Well,
I think we should just play together and then just realize that we're all
It's
different gamers.
everybody
all
having
play
fun
together.
is the goal.
Yes,
I knew if I busted
exactly.
out my AD&D trivia for second edition, they made a box set trivia game. I bet you any you would win. I really do.
No. Actually, I play with Stefan, and every time
Oh.
I'm like, I don't remember. And then I'm just like, look, Stefan, I want to play in your game. Tell me what to roll. I will role play the heck out of this. I don't want to do that math.
I
No.
swear that guy is a treasure. Every
No, he
time I
is.
see him, he is just enjoying what his life is, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But they ask questions about art. Like, you can actually remember the art pictures they're talking about, and they ask you very specific questions about some of the monster stuff, but the visual feel of it. And like, that's how you know you love the game, because you remember what page is next. Like, what page comes after this piece of art? I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like I have to, because doing a little bit of prep for the show, which is totally unlike me. I went to Apotheosis Studios. I went through all of the products, and I swear your guys' team is amazing.
Oh, thank
Everything
you so much.
you do that I've seen on here, the Red Opera, the Last Amazon, those two specifically speak to me even more than Sirens does.
Oh,
So
thanks
good.
so much.
This is the perfect
Yeah,
segue
yeah.
because I actually have to run to a very important meeting right now.
Okay.
But this is perfect. No, I really
Yeah.
like. Here's the thing. Jamison is amazing. He's a fantasy writer. He made this awesome graphic novel that's so mind-blowingly different than what anyone else has done that I've ever seen. And so every day I try to cherish him and like tell him how awesome what he does is. And I'm really happy that other people get to see it, because it's not just like, oh, this is my husband. Like, my husband's a badass. And
I
so
cherish
I'm
him too
really
already.
glad.
I see your guys' gym photos on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm like, God damn these young people.
Yeah, it's I'm really happy that you guys can talk, because I really want people to know how great your stuff is.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Do you have an important meeting? Can we keep him? Can we keep him?
Yeah,
a
you
little
guys keep him.
Sure, let's
You
let's
keep
hang out.
him. I'm
bit?
gonna
Come on and play.
go to
Come
this
on and play,
meeting.
Jamison. Thank you.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll hang out. All right.
Have fun, guys.
We will.
Yeah, so this is our graphic novel.
Yeah.
This is the last Amazon, and again, this is our special edition with slipcase.
Yeah. There we go.
I like to make stuff that I want to have on my shelf. So that's it's the same
Oh,
with the
sure.
games that we make, and so we were so proud to be able to bring just absolutely amazing quality material, and then we wanted to write a graphic novel that no one had ever really seen before. So it's set very far in the future, the year 2050, after a worldwide nuclear war in 2025. And how we actually have dialogue in the graphic novel is through these chat columns where they're
wow.
actually talking to each other. And the main character, the protagonist, is actually an artificial intelligence. Her name is Lex. And so we have, beautiful full color illustration, again, very high quality paper to have our images pop. And we bring that same quality into everything that we're doing, from Red Opera to Sirens.
I love the landscape aspect of it that goes in slipcase. Mojito
Totally.
did that, but I think it's so slick, and I think you did it first, because the time
Yeah.
we come back, John Carter's like that, but I think you did it earlier. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. And I think for us, it's really just trying to, like, our entire team, like, we want to make stuff that we would like to have, and that's it. And so if it doesn't exist, we want to make it. And this, the same is true both with the Red Opera and then also Sirens. Even if people don't love warlocks or don't love bards, that's okay. We created a setting where you could take your pre-existing adventuring party, maybe you've been gaming together for 5-6 years at a table, and you just want to have a new setting with a new campaign, a new adventure. Even if you want to burn the whole place down or cause havoc.
Take care of every bard in that city.
Totally. Yeah. Well, our criminal underground, actually, in Jan Koth from our warlock book, they're clerics. And so they are like the criminal underground because they just hate warlocks. They want to kill all the warlocks.
That's
and so,
fantastic.
all the loot strings. All the loot strings are going to be illegal. They're going to ruin
Exactly.
all the bards.
No, that's a great take on it. just having a different group be the Thieves Guild, and they're not thieves.
Exactly.
That's great.
Exactly.
And another thing, so people know, and they can go to the Apotheosis Studios website.
Mhm.
All of these, as beautiful and pretty and special as they look, they're all very reasonably priced as well, which is something that kind of surprised me, because
Yeah.
a lot of times when you get artistic products of this quality, it's like, oh yeah, that looks great. I can't fucking afford that, that kind of thing. All of this stuff, like, I could get one of
You
each.
want people to have it. That's what you can
Yeah.
tell the difference.
I mean,
That's it. Yeah.
that's the great thing about it is, and one of the things that was actually a draw is I start looking at this and I'm going, okay, yeah, let me scroll down and find the price. And it's like, oh my God, I need to have that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the really nice things is, not all game designers can be, Alex Cameron, make a fortune from his books.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
Zach Glazer with his golden ducats everywhere.
Right.
My 55 screens, including the Buffy the Vampire Slayer screen. Yeah, no.
Right.
Don't laugh. I have all of them. I have Angel too.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's
Yeah,
good.
the last Amazon. I'm a very post-apocalyptic person, and I'm just reading through the story. I just want to give everybody a little blurb. The last Amazon, the year is 2050. In the wake of a worldwide nuclear holocaust, only 2 cities remain on our war-torn planet: the Denver denizens and Hawaii's Azores Islands, which I think is amazing. You either live in Denver or Hawaii.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
is
they're the
so
two.
great.
The two cities left standing. So here here's Hawaii. So here's the Azores Islands here, and they're locked in this Cold War with Hawaii. And here's another image.
That is
of
so awesome. The
Azores
Cold
Islands.
War with Hawaii.
Oh man.
Yeah. And so we really, again, we love post-apocalyptic stories too. Here, I'll grab a picture of a future Denver for you. But we really want to take the entire thing, kind of spin it on its head. Here's Denver. So I think you can see that there. Where a lot of these post-apocalyptic stories are really, really like Mad Max, like, or Resident Evil, very dark, very, very, very brooding. And again, nothing wrong with that. I love those stories. We wanted to kind of show something a little bit different. And so we have it set 25 years after. So it's in 2050 with the nuclear holocaust happening in 2025. So it's enough time where the dust literally has settled.
What do you know that we don't know?
Well,
nothing. We all know it. We just ignore it. Yeah,
it's actually really crazy. So this book came out, I think, like maybe 3-ish years ago. Maybe I think 3 is when we wrote it, and we had done it with we said the president was elected for a 3rd term, and that's what caused
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I know, right?
We're not allowed to write this stuff anymore. You're out. We're not letting you.
I know. Yeah. I had a lot of people actually saying, "Why would you even introduce this into people's consciousness?" I was like, "This is the stuff that I enjoy, of like chaos ensuing." But yeah, we wanted to again try something different, and it's the same stuff that we're doing with our campaign books. So with the Red Opera, again, like, I as a game master, and God, I remember, we started playing, Vampire the Masquerade, Mage the Ascension, Werewolf, Shadowrun, all these things, grade school and junior high and high school. And so we really want to create things that are new, and it doesn't have to be. We're not trying to create like a whole new game system. That's not the type of new that
Right.
I'm trying to refer
That's
to.
been done. No, I know what you mean. Exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but a new setting, a new flavor. Like it's why I love 5th edition and Dungeons and Dragons. Like, the system is so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need to create a whole new game system. I want to create some new stories. Some new subclasses.
You want different
new
motives.
flavor.
You want new motives and new plots and new places that you actually have to think internally really hard about what moral choices and ethical choices, or at least about strange societies that make you not know what you're going to do, so you feel the same kind of trepidation you would feel in your life. That is 100% true. And from what I've seen of Siren so far, I'm going to go buy Red Warlock. But what I've seen is that Red Opera. I'm going to get that, because honestly, that is what matters most to me. I'm not going to get into stuff that I wrote, but I was really, really big to me that you had a living organic place that you went to and felt so real that you would lose the fact that it had a real economy, though you never talked about it. It had a real way they interacted, but you never talked about it. So when you got there was a reason for everything, but you didn't have to explain it because it was there.
Exactly.
And that's what I get. That's what I'm getting from you. So
it was really fun with this of like, what would a warlock city be like? And so Dorian, the Accursed King, this is his miniature, and he's one of our main characters. He actually balances all and kind of like holds judgment over all of the patron packs. We have this thing called the Well of Souls, and that allows patrons to communicate with their warlocks much easier. And so it's kind of how we allow people to take a subclass in warlock, while either it can just be temporary while they're in the city, or it can be a permanent thing if they'd like to have. And Dorian
Jesus,
actually,
I'm stealing that idea.
is that cool?
That is fantastic.
Is that cool? So people they don't have to, play an entire warlock campaign if they don't want to. Maybe you're playing barbarian, fighter, sorcerer, whatever you'd like, but you want to just try warlock. This is the place to do it.
Yeah.
And again, we just want to kind of toy with that idea of what would it be like to kind of have that flavor. And Rick Hines, he was the lead writer for that project, along with the rest of our writing
We've heard
team.
Of that guy.
Yeah. He's again good friend of both Satine and mine. It was so much fun to geek out about it, and so we've taken the entire team and now applied it to Sirens Battle of the Bards, and it's just been really fantastic for us to be able to really dig in. Now, what would it look like if we had a fully bard city, created by artists? And it's just fun to try something new. And even if people, again, don't want to be bards, don't want to be warlocks, to have that radically unique setting for their games, I think that's super rad.
Well, I'm still excited about the warlock. You could be one temporarily, because there's a lot of people who really are already comfortable playing certain classes, because honestly, it's intimidating. The rules are intimidating to newer people. So if you know a class, you'll stick with the class. I get caught doing that sometimes. But the fact you give someone an opportunity who normally wouldn't do that to see that, you're doing like a weird favor to them, because once you can experience things from a different side in the game, you can do it also in real life as well in different ways. I think that's awesome. That's really cool.
And for game masters not knowing how to actually role play as a patron, we have an entire chapter in here dedicated just to patrons and just to warlocks for game masters, of how to actually GM/DM a warlock, and how to do it well, and how to either craft your own patron. And we give some examples. The Mother of Mirrors, who is based off of Satine and kind of one of her meta characters, is that too. And so again, like, I consider myself a very good game master, and what I look for is resources. I want to be able very quickly to be able to pick up a book, open it up, skim through it, pull out what I need, and then be able to apply it to my table. So that's what we're making for our other fellow gamers.
Well, it definitely seems like your whole studio mantra is elevating the system, because I mean, it doesn't seem like you want to change it that much, but you're bringing more richness to this 5th edition thing, and
it makes the whole industry
great.
Honestly,
it really does.
This kind of stuff makes everything better for everybody, because what it does, it shows that you can try to do new things in a very nice way, that you can bring rich stories and experiences. You don't have to cater to, I want 9,000 tables and they all have to be about how I get my sharpness is a little more sharp. You can actually do stuff that is important, but it isn't the central role. And it's much like in real life. Like, real warriors in life don't worry about warring all the time. They worry about real stuff. And it's the truth. I think that makes it true here. Your personality is not formed by your sword. At least not for everybody. Some people. I think it's great.
I like it, and it seems like there's a lot of material in all of the books that could be usable in other situations as well, which is fantastic.
I want to go to the pledge levels real quick and see what some of the higher level pledges what it includes.
So one of the really cool things, so our patrons in the Red Opera, many of them were actually people who pledged at a higher tier to be included in the book. And so we actually have in Sirens right now, of people who want to either immortalize a character. I think that we have either 2 or 3 people having side quests, and additional 2 or 3 people having characters included. It'll be down at the bottom on that page. I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying not to make anybody car sick.
Totally get a little nauseous. No, I totally understand. But that was a really fun way where the people who pledged in our last Kickstarter for the Red Opera to actually have their party or their character included into a side quest. It was really cool. One of the game masters actually wanted to do it as a surprise to his table. Man. So when they got there in this story, they actually then were surprised by having characters that they knew in the actual book
Oh,
from their
wow.
home game. It was so rad. And so those people then are able to come with us and they talk to our creative team.
That's
We
a
go
once in
back
a
and forth.
lifetime. It's a once in a lifetime game experience because it really.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
cool.
Don't
sure.
expect the book to be about you, and that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's super rad. So it's been really fun to work with people, and we're really excited. Even though we have, I think, like 19 days left, we already still have, several people who want to be immortalized in the book.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
we're
there's
stoked about it.
2 backers for the side quest. There's 6 for custom characters.
Yep.
There's 7 people for Dragon Horde.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a lot of love on this. That's really great to see.
You showed how that went, though. You show how actually you show love by making it woven into the story in a way that I think that is rare. A lot of these patron driven or these like I'm going to put my character in the book pledge levels never get to that kind of. I never come close.
Yeah. Again, I tell this to my team, anytime they will listen to me, they usually be like, all right, Jamison, we've already heard it. But I say, put yourself in the other chair, and this is what I do as a game master. I put myself in the chair of a player, and I love playing too. But I'm like, guys, we got to put ourselves in their seat. What did they want? What do you want as a player? If you were going to run the Red Opera, if you're going to run Sirens, Battle of Bards, what would you want as a game master? And it totally changed the perspective because you're not then catering to some unknown audience. You're catering to yourself as a game master, as a player. Exactly. And so for these pledge tiers, like, what would I like? I would like to have my character immortalized. And so I am in this book as Vajra. Vajra is my, he's my main character. And so to be able to bring other people in as NPCs it's honestly, it's a huge honor. Because I know that there's been people who have been, in love with Dungeons and Dragons for decades and decades and decades. And for us, but they maybe don't, they aren't publishers, they maybe aren't writers, but to have them immortalized in a actual campaign and setting, like forever, like it's in the Library of Congress, like that's
the thing.
I mean, you're publishing all the time, it's all you think about. You forget the joy it is the first time you get your name in a book that is going to be a game that people are actually going to play. It changes your life. You're like, this is the most coolest thing I've ever done. I made a box set for Kickstarter for my first one. I was so excited because I did it all from scratch. And now I'm in probably 70 books and I don't remember at all.
You jaded man.
You're bringing that to people who really will appreciate in a way that I think it makes it worth it, because we don't do this for a ton of money. I mean, it looks like a lot of money on the Kickstarter. I know to most people, that's a lot of money. Of that money, it's going to make a lot of money to make this stuff the way they want to make it. So, I mean, this is a labor of love, and it shows. It shows.
That's what I tell people.
I would make a lot more so you can take her more places. But literally, that's how you can tell that you guys care, because that amount of dollars is going to go a long way to make it nice, but it's not going to buy you a new Ferrari.
Oh, totally not. I remember when we did our last Kickstarter and the Kickstarter before that too, and our other projects, like, oh my gosh, like you've hit it, you've done this. And I was like, yes, we now can make payroll.
Like, we can make payroll, and we can pay off all these things that we've, done, and all the prototypes we made, we can, actually pay that bill. And then we can negotiate getting, I hear you, man. I do.
Yeah, I can pay my credit card that's been floating this book production.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, get you. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it.
But you can't ask for money until you have something to, and you can't, I think, internally be asking for money until you have enough to show of a project that you're far enough along. Well, that ain't cheap to get that far to do it legit. And that's why I was really impressed when I first looked over yours, just seeing you the Sirenscape stuff. And those guys have to do a lot of work, and they're not going to do it for free. They're going to do because they're talented. And you have all your partners you list are all people that are top notch. Yeah. None of them,
except for this guy. I don't know about this sketchy dude.
He was on our show not long ago, and I'm suspicious of him.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but he has something suspicious about him. I think it's that he's so nice. You don't believe it? No.
Yeah, I know he's so friendly.
No, he's great.
Speaking of Sirenscape, it was so awesome when we were talking with them. We were like, okay, we've got a wild idea for you. Not only do we want to have a Sirenscape sound set, multiple sound sets, but we want to offer the first one for free as a sample for people who maybe haven't used Sirenscape
or ever heard of it. No, that's
right. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like,
why would I give it for free?
I was like, check this out though. Like we have a PDF. We're giving the PDF away for free. Again, it's our first chapter. And if we can have a free sample of the Sirenscape, I think that'll introduce a lot more people into Sirenscape. And I'm saying not that you need any help. Sirenscape is Sirenscape, like very well known. But like I think
what you gave them is the best advice I really think so. They have an awesome product line. that is
It's so cool. Yeah.
You can't explain it to somebody. They have to see it.
You have to really experience
it's like a VR headset. You can't understand how cool it is until you've actually used one, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, it's the exact same way. It's incredible. But it is
and that's one thing that I want to make very clear to everybody checking out the Kickstarter page. There are free downloads.
Yes.
On the Kickstarter page. So even if you're just going to be one of those people and go for the free thing, check it out.
And I'm totally okay with it. If someone even goes to the page with the understanding, you know what, for whatever reason, I don't have the funds or the interest to buy this, that's okay. If you download the PDF and download we have a free Foundry BTT and Shard tabletop as well, and just play it and have a good time. That allows us, and hopefully you tell someone about it that you enjoyed it. That is enough for us to continue making games. We just want to create fun experiences for people. The world is a dark place. We live in a dark world, and we create this just to have to bring some light into some joy into some people's lives.
I sent a screenshot to my business partner Matt Finch this morning when I saw the 4 of them he had listed for free, just to tell him that this is a fantastic idea and why. And we don't do quite the same partners you have. We could do it different angles, but I totally agree with you. My heart was with you from the second I did it this morning when I sent it to Matt, and he wasn't probably going to argue, but he gets tired of listening to me about this stuff. I thought that was great. And what's great about it is it proves you have the investment. It proves you're serious about it. And I think it really shows in the amount of money you've gotten so far on this is that it's legit. So much you put into this is so full of heart that I think that it bleeds it, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Plus, how cool is it to have a miniature of you?
I'm excited for that. I am excited for that.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Doesn't look like him. No kidding.
They even got my tattoos right, and I don't know if you guys see. I have tattoos on my head too, and I have a big one. I have that same one on my chest. It doesn't glow, but
sure doesn't. You liar.
It doesn't glow yet.
It doesn't glow yet. Maybe someday. It's so funny. So I have a 4-year-old daughter who's now Satine's stepdaughter, and she saw our miniatures, and she was like, "Where's my mini? I want a miniature."
Awesome.
Give it a couple years, baby. Give it a couple.
That
years.
is fantastic.
Awesome.
She could be a halfling.
Totally, absolutely.
No, this is a wonderful Kickstarter. You should be extraordinarily proud of all this work, and I know that Satine always, he's told me like 5 times now, in the 2 times I've been on the interview near you, is that, it's not just me. He does a lot of the work. I know you do a lot of the work. And I think it's really hard because Satine has got like a lot of fame that's justly deserved. I meant what I told Skeeter before the air, that she is legit. You'd see panels that she was on, and you had 5 creators from Wizards of the Coast and her, and she was the most knowledgeable broadly and the most excited of all of them. No offense, Wizards of the Coast. But seriously, in seeing that, it's just contagious, right? Yeah. Well, it's obvious that you don't jump into a relationship with that without being in a hardcore, man, or bardcore, if you could say.
Bardcore, exactly.
It's wonderful. So this is going to be a great project. It has a kind of look to me like Invisible Sun did by Monty Cook.
That was a great one.
Yeah, it was a great project that was very focused on GMs that unfortunately I didn't see much afterwards. I think this one I'll see a lot more of because it attached to the Dungeons and Dragons system.
Yeah. Again, for us to be able to play in 5th edition it's fantastic, and it allows us to do what we do really well. And we're storytellers, we're able to build these settings that you've never seen before. No one's ever seen a city like Salvata. It doesn't exist, and
the geometry looking down was so badass. I keep thinking about it. I'm on a live interview.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to have to start wrapping it up. We've had you for a little over an hour, so I know you guys are super busy. One of the things that I do want to say for the people who are watching this interview and ad later on for Sirens, I reached out to Satine and Jamison to promote this for them. They didn't ask us.
They wouldn't have asked us.
I looked at this and I was interested, and I hope nothing Zach and I have said has come off as kiss assy, because if anybody in the real knows me, I do not kiss anybody's ass. I am legitimately interested in this Kickstarter. I think it is worth your time and money and investment in it. It is the real deal, and I am impressed, and I do not get impressed by RPG projects
So,
a lot.
Jameson, thank you, and thanks to team for us too. But
I
Yes.
will.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you said, Skeeter, and Zach too. It's really kind of you. Again, you know what Satine, myself, and our entire team at Apotheosis Studios and Gilding Light too, her production studio. All we want to do is just further the industry of gaming. Like
Right.
that's it. Like that's all we want to do is just make games. And so if people don't necessarily like bards, that's okay. You can still love this campaign.
don't
And
trust
if
those
you,
people.
yeah, they just come. Yeah, right.
I'm just
That's true,
kidding.
too. But you just come and check it out. You know, check out the Kickstarter page, bardbook.com. And yeah,
Download the
we
PDF.
would love to play with you. That's it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jamison.
Thank you very much. For everybody out there, this is Skeeter from Goddammit Zach, and that guy over there is Goddammit Zach.
God damn it, Jamison. Thanks for coming, man.
Oh,
Thank
God,
you
it's
so
been
much.
a goddamn great time.
All right.
All right, after you, all right, see you guys, everybody.
We are out.
Okay.